All right, cool. Should be live on YouTube now. We're doing this on YouTube as well. Premier League predictions for match week 2. So we're already talking about West Ham and Chelsea. We're already talking about West Ham and Chelsea immediately here. My first thought is why is Chelsea 1.73? Some people are saying, away from home, which is fair, but something is just sus about this game in terms of odds here, right? 1.73 for a team that's going up against another team that lost to Sunderland. Not just lost, got throttled by Sunderland. So if the difference of home and away is that crazy, I mean, it's something to think about right away, though, that a team that people were calling for relegation after the first match week, though, that they're calling for West Ham's relegation, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, they're at home, though. Maybe Chelsea didn't do that well against Palace. Something just seems a little strange, though, there, right? Something just seems a little strange there. I think Spurs had a good result, and although West Ham lost, they're usually good at home. I don't know. Bookies are weird. Fair. Away factor, fair. Bowen Masterclass. I hope so for my FPL team. They will stay. That's fine. Ahmed, what's good on YouTube? James, what's good on YouTube? Appreciate you boys coming in here. Philip, what's good? How was the day? The day was decent, I would say, but I'll talk about that more later. We're just doing Premier League predictions for match week 2. I'm live on YouTube right now. I want to know if I clicked on that Twitch button, if it would end my entire stream. I really want to figure that out. I might test it out later. I might test that out later. That's me on YouTube, by the way. First name. Oh, let's go. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. Try it now. Well, I don't want to, because what if it just ends the whole thing and I got to restart it? Nah, I'll just let it go. All right, but let's just try to make this prediction. So I'm gonna make these predictions, do my research, and I'm gonna note on here like this. Let me see if I can get it to good. Yeah, like this kind of. It's the best way to probably go about it, right? If I have it like that, or maybe it's good enough. We'll figure out a better way. To do this, but I'll just do that. I haven't really started the predictions yet, Min. This is gonna be the first one I'm about to do now. If anybody has a better site that I can input scores in, just for like visual purposes, not for tracking, just visual purposes, that'd be good. OG here, give me mod. I will. You can get mod. How do I do that? Bang. There you go, bro. Mod over there on the YouTube. There we go. All right, let's get to predicting. Let's get to just, my research, my predicting, and let's do it. Okay, so West Ham, Chelsea, like I said already, right away, 1.7 is a bit of a weird number to me. Let's go to the over-under. Over-under sitting at what? About 3-ish? Maybe 2.75, 3-ish. Maybe 3 is a little bit too high. So I guess the books are thinking that, they're definitely thinking West Ham score, right? Because you're not going to put Chelsea at 1.7 odds and then have the total at 3 if you don't think West Ham score a goal. I think let's look at West Ham at home against Chelsea recently. Like Chelsea beat them 3-0 last year in September. But before that, it was West Ham, draw, West Ham, Chelsea. So it does seem like West Ham does get some results here or there at home, which maybe is the factor going into it. And you can see there are a couple of draws here. I don't know, though, as much as I want to say that the books are guiding me into, like, a result here for West Ham, the last thing I want to check here is just the handicap spread. So are they thinking, what are they thinking for the spread here? They got the spread at what? +1 here for West Ham. So people that would have to take, Chelsea to win by 2, I feel like that's not going to hit. I'm going to go in this match. I do think that there's going to be a little bit of a over-exaggeration here on West Ham. So I'm going to go with a 1-2 Chelsea win. Yeah, 1-2 Chelsea win there. Again, like I said, this is not going to be the greatest of formats of me grading, but I think it's easy enough that you can tell what's going on here. All right, we guys see what's going on here. So what we have here. 1-1 or 1-2. Dude, and the thing is, bro, as much as I want to go 1-1, the only thing that's stopping me from going 1-1 is the fact that I really don't think Chelsea just drop points in back-to-back matches to start the season. That's just my thought there. So I'll go with that. I'll be on Chelsea to win 2-1 against West Ham. Manchester City and Tottenham. I remember predicting this last year, and the big thing with Manchester City and Tottenham was that, like, Tottenham are City's bogey team, is what they would say. City did win last time, but then Tottenham, City. So maybe not as much, but if I go City at home, what are we looking at then? Tottenham draw City, Tottenham City. So, I mean, decent enough, especially when you think about Tottenham winning in 2022. I mean, that's when City was probably going crazy at that point. So, maybe there is something to that. Tottenham looked incredible against Burnley in the first match week, and then City looked great too. Neither of them conceded. They both scored 3+ goals. So, let's look at the odds here. So, 1.5 seems fair for City. I thought it may be a little too low. I thought it would have been like 1.65, something like that. But these odds kind of reflect like no respect on Tottenham, right? Kind of, you know what I mean? Kind of no respect on Tottenham, which is I think fair, right? Maybe fair, based on how good City looked, because City looked really good, like really good. So the total sits at what, 3.25. So we're thinking maybe 3-4 goals. We're thinking maybe 3-4 goals here. I do want to see what they're thinking the handicap. Do they have City to win by 2 goals? Is that what they're feeling? Yes, they are feeling that. I actually feel like this should go over. The only thing concerning is that if neither team conceded in their last match and now they're going to be going to each other, could we see a weird game here? Could we see a game here at 7:30 in the morning on Sunday that just doesn't go crazy? You know what I mean? What are you guys thinking? 3-1? You think 2-0 City, Aaron? You think 3-1 Mayo? 2-2? I'll admit, 3-1 was my first thoughts. 3-1 was my first thoughts, but I feel like Sunday morning match, can it really be 3-1? Can it really be 3-1? That's my fear. See? Yep, Jose feels me on that. Jose feels me on that. What are BTTS odds? Let's check. That's my only fear there. Early kickoff is the only concern, but City at home always has goals. Not wrong. Could be 0-0. Imagine, bro. Imagine how many people start off their Saturdays. This is Saturday, right? I think I said Sunday by accident, but this is Saturday. Imagine how many people start off their Saturday with just a miserable situation. 1.63, bro. Pretty damn low. Pretty damn low for BTTS. And even in a Prem match, they're usually not this low. We'll see the rest of them, but they're just not this low. I think thinking about it more and more. Man, I think I'm gonna go with. Did someone say this one? Oh, Aaron did. Okay, so we're on the same page here. I think I'm gonna go 2-0 to Manchester City. Yeah, I think so. I feel like just the early kickoff. Maybe they get an early one first half. They don't score second half. Tottenham doesn't score. I do think I'm kind of being disrespectful to City or to Tottenham, but I think the odds kind of imply that already. You know what I mean? Like the odds having City at 1.5 already felt disrespectful to me, which is why I went with 2-0 there. City's early kickoff, chaos incoming over 1.5 first half was hit 16 out of 19 times last season at the Etihad. 2-1. Well, there's always a chance. True. Games a stream goal. City will score 2. Yeah, I'm just not too sure about where Tottenham goes. All right, let's move on. Good pacing so far. Good pacing here, boys. Keep it up. Keep it up in the chat. So we got Bournemouth Wolves here. Bournemouth actually did not play bad. 4-2 result. Very unfair in my opinion. Very unfair, but they did not have a great I guess what do you want to call this? Great situation here on the friendlies. So not brilliant there. Wolves also not great. Recent history has us at what? 2-1 Bournemouth, 1-0 Wolves. 4-2. Go ahead. Appreciate the biddies. I'm not betting anymore, though. I'm recording a Premier League video now. But I appreciate you, Crocs. So we have Bournemouth 2-1, 1-0 Wolves, 4-2. Bournemouth, 1-0 Bournemouth. Bro, Wolves are pretty bad, but I think I think Bournemouth is not as bad as his 4-2. Like it was a great comeback there. Semenyo looked pretty good. Even Bournemouth's defending was bad, but it's Liverpool in Liverpool. So as much as you want to, criticize Bournemouth, I didn't think they looked that terrible. Okay, let's look at the odds then. So 1.84 for Bournemouth, I think it's fair. I just kind of like Bournemouth to just straight up win. I think unless something else sticks out to me. Total is 3. BTTS is 1.68 again. So they got the Wolves really coming in with a goal of their own. Fair. And then what's the spread then? The spread is around, just around -1. Total's too high to make me want to take just a 1-0. I was thinking originally 1-0 for Bournemouth here, but I think that's a little too low. If I look at Bournemouth at home here, let's say like 1-0, 2-1. That's actually kind of crazy. Bournemouth have not beat the Wolves. Bournemouth have not beat Wolves at home in their last 5. Granted, the last one's at 2019 there, but still, is that a little shocking to anybody? Yeah, now you see there's a couple of results in there that are kind of making me interesting. I like where your guys' head's at. See, this is where the chat's kind of coming into play a little bit, because at first I thought Bournemouth win, but see, me thinking Bournemouth win that quickly, because the odds are 1.84, see, something's up. Something's up. I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it with you guys. Let's do that. Yep, 1-1. I like that. 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 I appreciate the hydration, bro. Gorillas, I'm actually recording a YouTube video right now. I wouldn't say I'm recording one. I'm live on YouTube. That's going to end up being my Premier League prediction. So you're saying I'm labbing. I'm technically labbing, but also predicting, and then goes right to YouTube. Goes right to YouTube. So I appreciate you, bro. Let's keep the pace moving along here. Brentford Villa. Give me your thoughts, boys. We got Villa 2.23 on the ML. We have Brentford on the 3.3 here. I think I should be checking lineups, but like realistically, like you know how it is. You know how it is. Anything in the lineups is already baked into the odds. Any sort of thing in the lineups is already baked into the odds. I do think it is a bit difficult to just, use the lineups to, make your prediction. I think whenever someone sees a player in or a player out of the lineup, they like to over exaggerate how much it impacts the team. It really never goes to that degree of like impact. Watkins goalies, he played as all the fixtures. 2-2, both teams lost against a big players open-ended game, in my opinion. Your team did pretty well in the prediction last time. It did, bro. But the next one, it just got suffocated. I have no idea how it works, Tom. I have no idea how it works. 1-2 Villa, 1-1 draw, 0-1 Villa. Interesting. All right, so let's look at Brentford at home against Villa in general. 0-1, 1-2, 1-1, 2-1, 1-0. Just very back and well, I mean, this is championship, but very back and forth results right here. Nothing that really sticks out. Even this 1-0 against, I think that was a crazy 1-0 too, because Brentford not scoring at home is a bit insane. And the odds again were what? I just want to see the money line. 2.17, 3.4 here. Over under sits at what? 2.5. Right on the dot. They're at 2.5. And then both teams scores 1.66. Man, bro, this is where the Prem becomes so tough to bet on with. I think this early in the season, because bookie odds are still just very generic, right? Like we've only seen odds for BTTS around 1.6, 1.7 so far. Totals around 3, and then the handicap, I'm imagining it's only going to be like what, 0.75 for Villa at the most. Yeah, it's about 0.75 for Villa at the most here. Any other thoughts? Any other thoughts here? No Wissa and Buemo. Same for Villa. No Rashford, Sensio, Ramsey. Draw for me. Brentford absolutely shite. Doubt Wissa plays. The draw is intriguing. The draw is intriguing here. I'm not gonna lie, because people may. I'm trying to think of how people overreact. So yeah, Brentford gets, they get the business from Nottingham here, but they were away from home. And you have Villa, who had a 0-0 against Newcastle. I actually want to go a little bit weird here now. I think I'm going to go a little weird here. I'm going to go with a Brentford 2-1 win over Aston Villa. I think, I feel like the odds are kind of trying to guide people into taking maybe a draw here or maybe an Aston Villa result. But I feel like Brentford at home, I don't know why. I just, gut feeling. It's really more of a gut feeling than anything. Yeah, just really a gut feeling with Brentford. Just they come to home. They go to. I can't even say the word. They go home. They go home and they have a result. That's kind of my thing here. 2-2 written all over it. That's fair. 2-2's fair. That's 2-2's fair. But yeah, Pinkers, let's go, bro. I am just kind of. I'm live on YouTube right now. I'm trying to make like a YouTube video of Premier League predictions for Matchweek 2. That's what I'm doing right now. Watkins X team. Don't know if that changed anything for you. A little bit, maybe for betting purposes, to go on Watkins for betting purposes. But yeah, bro is rocking the Utrecht kit. Just seen it? Yes, sir. Dude, this is at the bottom of my stack over there. I got to wear this one more often. All right. We have Burnley Sunderland here. Burnley Sunderland 2.32 for Burnley. Sunderland's at 3.35. I feel like I mean this is what the people probably think these two teams are getting relegated, right? Realistically, I do think people thought Sunderland played pretty well though. Burnley got throttled. So interesting that we have Burnley as the favorite. And I'm gonna say this without even trying to look at chat real quickly. This is kind of the first game out of all these I've seen so far where it's like, oh, this is like the actual the odds are completely opposite of what you would think from the first matchup. And I get home and away, home and away, home and away. But Tottenham throttled them 3-0. Sunderland had a great result against West Ham, 3-0. However, Burnley at home, I think pretty solid, right? Burnley at home, pretty solid, and I feel like if you're overreacting, because I'm trying to really predict how people overreact. If you're overreacting to how Sunderland played and how Burnley played match week 1, you would be thinking that Sunderland win odds or even double chance odds are gonna be massive, which makes me want to say Burnley win. That's my whole roundabout. That's my whole roundabout way of saying I think Burnley win. And you can see how low the totals are. 2.25 is so low. What are you guys thinking? Check this head-to-head. Let's check the head-to-head. Oh, from 0-0, 1-0, 0-0, 2-4, 1-3. Most obvious 0-0, 1-0. Burnley lock it in. Burnley at home 1-0. So you guys are on the same wavelength as me. Do you have one game on at the moment? Nah, I'm doing Premier League predictions right now, Seaborn. Burnley owed a lot of those results to Trafford, though, who is now gone. He was outstanding last year in the sticks. Yeah, look at the Burnley home last year. Yeah, no, I think they're going to win to 0. I'm just trying to decide if it's 1-0 or 2-0. I think just for predicting purposes, just for the match purposes, and also using the odds of the totals here, I'm going to go with what you guys said. Because I was leaning 1-0, 2-0. You guys like 1-0? Let's go with 1-0. 1-0 to Burnley there. I feel it. I can feel it. I can feel it. Arsenal and Leeds. Even though I'm recording this kind of live on stream as well, I'm going to just kind of stick with what I normally do on this. Whenever I see a team this big of favorites in the Prem, I really just go in one way with it. I go to the odds. You know, I see the odds here. I go to the over-under. Over-under is about, what, 3? 3 there. Both teams scores at 2 odd. They're really not feeling them to score at all. I actually will just keep this one pretty simple and straightforward. I can't imagine... Oh, okay. Yeah. I really can't imagine anything other than this result. I think I'm going to strictly go with an Arsenal 2-0 win over Leeds. What do you guys think about that? 2-0 for... yep, 2-0 for Arsenal. Fingers on the same wavelength here. The game screams 1-0, 0-0. I like Leeds on the counter here. They will nick one, but I think Arsenal will be too strong. Arsenal will hammer them 3-0. I think 2-0, 3-0 is kind of where I'm at with that. I think Arsenal 2-0, 3-0 is where I was at with that. For my, I won't say strategy, but I guess my thinking on logically is like long term, when Premier League favorites are under like 1.4 odds, especially home ones, I always go one below the total. I just don't ask why. I feel like the total could just be juiced up a little bit just because like people are thinking big favorite at home, Arsenal, like, you know, all the firepower, and then go in some leads. And then I usually like to stay below that then. I say below that then. So just like, instead of going 3-0, I'll go 2-0. I love United this week. We'll look at that one in a bit. Leeds defense is pretty good. Arsenal were nothing inspiring first game. That's what I was thinking too. No one scoring more than 2 goals all weekend. Is that what I have so far? Yeah, but like, again, I've realized from doing predictions the last 2 years, bro, that if you try to completely predict way over certain games, you're gonna end up getting them wrong. But if you predict a similar path for all the games, you'll realize you'll get more right that way. That's in my opinion. So I was always trying to be more on the safe end of predictions, where it's like I really want to try to get the result right or the total right or the BTTS right. It was like one of the 3. There's 3 marks I try to go for: BTTS, over under, 1x2. Those are the 3 like marks I'm trying to like, you know, predict the most properly here. I feel like predicting a 4-2, a 4-1, 3-1 is kind of difficult sometimes. Plus, people love overs in general pregame, which kind of gets kind of shit a little bit. Dan James could get in behind as they play this week. I'm not sure about that. Don't tell me you're not sure an Arsenal fan. No, but I am doing Premier League predictions for Matchweek 2 on YouTube right now. I'm live on YouTube doing this to make a video from it. See how this goes. See how my strategy, or not my strategy, see how my thing for this. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully it's nice. Let's see. How long have I been live on YouTube? It's been 20-minute video already, so I got to keep the pace up a little bit. First night game at Emirates. I think goals possible. 4-3-1. No Eze. Palace playing tonight. Fancy Forest. Okay, so we're going to have Palace and Forest here. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that. I think these odds could actually move a bit as the time goes on. I think the odds could move a bit from like 2.4 even like higher. This could be like a 2.6 3, 2, like 3.1 type of game. Like those could be like 1x2 by the time this closes here. I'm assuming that the odds are gonna be what, 2.25, 2.5 ish. Yeah, just right around there. 2 to 3 goals is probably gonna be. That's the problem. Like the odds are all suggesting super under game in this match. I do think them playing today. I think Palace playing today is gonna be an issue. Ooh. They really have the BTTS at 1.82, though. I'll tell you what, this definitely cannot be the game where I go for one of the teams to score more than 2. Classic 1-1, Forest win 1-2, 0-3 Forest. Say less me and all my buddies started Premier League pick them, and I'm going to use all your picks, to be honest. Let's go. I'm keeping them track right here. What site you guys doing it on 710? Because I was thinking about a better site to like do my predictions on, just for visual pleasure. Right now, I just literally copied this, and I'm just like drawing on this right now. It'll get the job done for now. European game today, I think they might be focusing a lot on next week games as well. Not over at all. Only 1-0 up. Sleeper. Oh, okay. I can't do sleeper on PC for some stupid reason. I hate that. So you guys looking draw here? You know what I will do? I'll do a little crazy one on here. You guys want... I like the draw idea. But I think I'm going to roll with a 2-2. I think... Yeah, crazy, I know. But I'm gonna roll with a 2-2 on Crystal Palace Nottingham, because I think people are gonna over compensate for the Palace 0-0 against Chelsea, and then they're gonna kind of go with Nottingham side here. But I think the game doesn't end a draw, but I think it goes 2-2. We move. Shub, I'll look at that later, bro. Maybe for the next one. For this one, I'm just gonna roll with this for now. But for the next one, for like next week, I will use the whatever site you sent me. All right, we're here on hey, I'm Dutch, what's good, bro? Recording a live YouTube video for Premier League predictions for match week 2. You're basically seeing me record the video. This is actually way more fun than me trying to pre-record it, because bro, when I pre-record a video, so terrible, so ass. I'm like retrying over and over again. I'm like slipping up over my words. If I slip up over my words now, doesn't even matter. Respectfully, I need you to be wrong for my FPL. Fair play. Everton looked awful. I think Brighton 1-0, 1-1. Back in that for some weird reason. Question is whether the Forest defense allows to. Very true. I can't see Forest allowing to. That defense is stout AF. I think it's almost like last week, how everyone was so confident in Everton beating Leeds. It just is one of those things, right? Like, how could we ever see Forest concede 2? Maybe a penalty, maybe a free kick, maybe go lasso off the corner, something like that, probably. Ellis, how's life in the stream? We're doing well, bro. I do still need a couple cards in that Legia match, but I don't think it's happening, right? No one said anything. I'm guessing Legia match still has only 3 cards in it. Tough. All right, Everton and Brighton here. We had 3.2 for Everton at home, Brighton 2.43 at home. Everton looked so bad against Leeds. But I don't think we have to use this game too much to decide this game here. I think that was kind of like Ellen Road, what was it? Monday night, Ellen Road. Just a tough one for Everton. Probably first match, they've had a very rough preseason too. And Brighton, on the other hand, has had a very, very good preseason, and also had a nice draw. I wouldn't say nice draw, but had a draw against Fulham here. In general, though, if you look at Everton at home, the Brighton draw, Brighton, Everton. So last 4 matchups, Everton has not gotten the result, right? They have not gotten the win at home here. The weird thing, though, about this match that sticks out to me right away is that they're only saying Brighton is 2.43. That's a bit high, right? Not 2.3, not 2.2, not 2.1, but 2.43. That's a bit high for how the head-to-head recent looks, and for how we think Everton played match week 1, how Brighton played match week 1, right? You know what I mean? 1-0, you think? I actually think I'm about it. That was the exact scoreline. I actually didn't look at the over-under yet, though. Okay, so they're thinking maybe... it's either 1-1 or 1-0, in my opinion. What's both teams to score? 1.8? Yeah, I could see Brighton just not scoring in this match. It's not like they were like great against Fulham anyways. No, it wasn't team total. It was the full game shop, so let's go. We got it. Matoma Masterclass. That I need for my FPL. I'm just thinking here. So what did you guys said? 1-0. 1-0's not too bad. All right. I'm going to go with it. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. 1-0 to Everton. 1-0 to Everton. This is another one of those overreacting to match week 1, but I'm not going to overreact too much. All right, we got Fulham and Manchester United. Blockbuster match here. Cryptic, what's good? First game of the new stadium must win. I actually did look that up before I started. I looked up where they were playing. I just saw the stadium. The stadium looks so nice. United win 1-3, 2-0 Fulham. I'm glad we're on the same page here. Okay. So Fulham United here, odds are looking like 2.12 to United. I actually think, without diving too much into the game, the head-to-head, the pregame odds, I actually think United win this. That was my initial thought. United win, right? But let's go make sure. How do you say this name again? Cavern Cottage? Cavern? How do you say that? The Cottage? Craven Cottage. I was close. Let's look at just how the recent head-to-heads, like 1-2 Fulham, 0-1 United. I remember this. This was the start of the season last year. No. This was the start of the season last year. Yeah, August 16th for United, I remember. 1-0, 1-0, 2-1, but technically 1-1 in regular time. So, Craven. I agree with Tommy. United win 1-3. What's the over-under? Because their last two matchups in league have been 1-0. So over-under's at what? About 3. Not about. It's about 2.75. About 2. More so 2.5 than 3, honestly. So they're thinking 3 goals here. Both teams scores 1.6. Okay. I think I know where I'm. I think I can see where my brain's heading with it. I don't think. What was that? Oh, I was like, what was that result here? Like, who are they losing and playing with? But I forgot about that tournament they do. Fulham at home again. 1-0, 1-0, 2-1, 2-1. Wow. Did you guys know it was like that? Don't overreact. They are not that good. I feel like overreacting, though, is to say they were bad match the first match because they didn't score. I think they'll be better. I think with 2 brand new attackers, it takes a little bit of time. I'm not trying to overreact. You're right. I don't want to overreact. You're right. But I think I'm going to overreact a little bit because these odds, bro, 2.12, this makes me feel like it's going to drop to 1.9 before the match starts. And my thing is, like, who did Fulham get? Like, isn't Fulham the same exact team as last year? I feel like United have to be better this year. Could be wrong. It could be one of those things where, like, the popular team is getting the love here. But I'm going to go with a 1-2 United win. I wouldn't be surprised if United didn't concede either. I'm going to say that right now. I would not be surprised if United did not concede. All right, last one. Newcastle, Liverpool. A lot of vibes with the whole Isak saga, right? Isak here, Isak there, Isak there, Isak there. Who knows? Liverpool, too odd, bro. How many games do you think this year will Liverpool be above 2 odd against a non-top 6 team? Think about it that way. Isn't that very interesting to think about? How many matches this year will Liverpool be above 2 odd against a non-top 6 team? Let's not get into the politics about Newcastle being a top 6 team. Let's not do that. But like for the sake of generic argument, you know, like how many times will they be above 2 odd against a non-top 6 team? This is my first thought. Let's go dive into the odds a little bit with the totals. BTTS 1.48, which is pretty interesting considering Liverpool's last game had 6 goals, Newcastle's last game had no goals. So that's interesting to think right there. Head-to-head here, Newcastle at home. Well, they haven't played. This is their first home match. How'd they end the season last year, though? All right, but it's tough to even use last year because there's a little bit different teams. But let's look at the head-to-head in general. So Newcastle 2-1, 2-0. This 3-3 was so crazy. I remember we hit some crazy late goals on that. 4-2 Liverpool, 2-1 Liverpool. I just can't imagine Liverpool lose this. Liverpool showed insane what's the word I'm looking for? Mental. They showed insane mental in this match against Bournemouth here to be what? They were up 2-0. Well, how did it go again? I gotta look it up now. How did it go again specifically? It was 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2. But those subs were not good. Those subs by Arne Slot were not good. They kind of caved after those subs that they made. Last season was 3-3. Joelinton McCard might be 1.25. Taylor on this, solid scoring a pen. Without a striker, this could be Liverpool's for the taking. Could be crazy again. Pool money line plus United money line plus at 3.1 odds seems who's going to be paid out. I wouldn't do that. I think Liverpool odds being at 2. If you want to back Liverpool, just back them. Excuse me, back them as a single, in my opinion. Newcastle have no strikers. What's the predicted lineup? Oh, we don't even have it probably because of that reason. Tough one, tough one, tough one. What was the total again? Are they at... They're at 3.25, it looks like, for the total here. So about 3 to 4 goals. How crazy do we want to get, though? How crazy do you want to get on Newcastle-Liverpool is the question. From a Newcastle team that did not score at all last match to a Liverpool team that scored 4. I feel like with all this nonsense going on, no, but see, the thing is, I can't back a massive Liverpool win knowing that they're too odd pregame. I can't do it. Something doesn't sit right with me to predict a massive Liverpool win here. I want to. I was literally about to say 3-1. But I just don't know. Gordon, makeshift striker prop. Like, doesn't this scoreline make someone think it could end in a draw? Or not scoreline, the pregame 1x2 make you think it could end in a draw? It would be pretty fitting, though. Newcastle without Isak against Liverpool, no less, win. Don't think I can do it, though. I don't think I can do it, though. Man, it's a tough one. I can't even predict Newcastle to not have any goals. So they're at home, and Liverpool's defense wasn't incredible against Bournemouth either. Pool to score first half, the same team total over 1.5 at 1.72 odd. That is interesting. I guess the logic is if they score in the first half, they're going to score 2. But if they can't score in the first half... No, never mind. I take that back. Doesn't make any sense. That is intriguing, though. Also, Ja, I'll answer that in a second, bro. I have Dan Burn in sleeper, so I'd love to 0-0, but I think Liverpool 3 or more. We batter Newcastle 5-1. Not biased. You know what, dude? I want to put down 1-2 Liverpool, like 2-1, like Liverpool wins 2-1. But why do I feel like this could end in a draw, bro? Why do I feel like this could end in a draw, bro? I'm sorry, dude. I feel like it's so square to take Liverpool win when they are literally above 2 odd here. I'm going to go with a 1-1 Newcastle-Liverpool game to just make everyone go crazy. I was close to 2-2. But, no. Liverpool, Newcastle, 1-1. All right. That'll do it. These are their final predictions right here. If anyone wants to give a little closer look. I had West Ham, Chelsea, 2-1 to Chelsea. City, Tottenham, 2-0 to City. Bournemouth, Wolves, 1-1 draw. Brentford, Aston Villa, 2-1 to Brentford. Burnley, Sunderland, 1-0 to Burnley. Arsenal, Leeds, 2-0 to Arsenal. Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, 2-2 draw. Everton, Brighton, 1-0 to the Everton lads. Fulham United, 2-1 to United. Newcastle, Liverpool to end match week 2, 1-1 draw. Remember, boys, it's the beginning of the season. We're still going to try to figure out how these things are looking here. We have no clue, really. We're still kind of just going off of vibes and last year, a little bit of lineups. And just overall, try not to overreact to what we saw yesterday. So if you made it this far on YouTube and you're rewatching this, not live, I appreciate you watching. Please go ahead and like and subscribe to the video. I'll try to do more of these in this format. I think it's more fun talking out with the chat. I would like to know, though, if I can literally go live on YouTube without being live on Twitch. It'd be cool if you guys all came over to YouTube and did it with me over there, but we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out, all right? So I'm going to end the YouTube stream now.